Hello and welcome back. Sorry for such a long time off. This is going to be my quick and easy makeup tutorial, full face, but it's still very natural. I'm starting off with a discontinued product from MAC. It is their Lustre Drops. Just use something even like the strobe cream or even Benefit's What's Up highlighter and just lightly apply this to the high points of the face. I'm doing this first thing because I want to make sure I get a little bit of a glow without being too shiny. Sticking with my MAC Studio Fix, my favorite foundation, I'm just lightly applying the smallest amount with my beauty blender. Even though it's a medium to full coverage, I like to use the smallest amount of product just because it has a lot of pigment, so it covers very well, but I don't want a thick layer of product on my face. The next step, I'm going in with concealer. I don't have a lot of blemishes after I use that foundation, but just a little bit along my jawline, a little on my cheek, and of course my under eyes just to add some brightness. I'm using the MAC Studio Fix 24-Hour Wear Concealer. It's my favorite. It's smooth, it's creamy, and it gives the same medium to full buildable coverage without adding the texture. And of course, I'm extremely oily, usually at least. So I'm using, of course, the MAC Studio Fix powder. It's a classic. The whole Studio line is the best, but this is their foundation powder. It's more of a medium to full coverage as well, but I'm using it on a massive kabuki underneath my eyes, in the T-zone, and a little bit on my cheeks just to make sure I don't get too shiny throughout the day. And then we're gonna go in and add a little bit of color. I'm using the Contour Highlight Palette in Light. The two deeper shades, the taupe shade is my favorite, but I'm mixing the middle shade and the taupe shade just to kind of get a little bit of a bronze tone as well as a contour. And then I'm going in with a little bit of the Bone Beige. It's a little bit light for me, but it has a bit more of a bronzy side. And I'm lightly applying that to my nose just to make sure I have a bronze tone as well as a contour. Time for brows. I can never forget eyebrows, but this is a little bit different. I always use brow set and then I lightly fill them in wherever I need. But to keep this look natural, and if you have longer or thicker brows, just take your brow set and brush straight upwards, and it's gonna allow you to give fullness to your brow since the hair is sitting differently, but then lightly take any longer hairs and press them down to add some shape. Now this is also a discontinued, I'm so sorry guys, but I'm trying to use up the makeup that I have instead of buying new. But this is a cream stick product from MAC. It was a limited edition product as well. One end's a highlight, one end's a blush. So I'm using the blush end by lightly patting that on the cheek and then using my fingers to basically warm up the product and just heat it up and blend it smooth. And of course the Patrick Starr highlight. I love this. It's a highlight bronzer. So I'm using this in the highlight areas and then lightly running it over the blush and bronzer that I applied. So it's actually super beautiful, super natural, a lot more natural than more people think. But because of that, you won't look greasy. You'll just have this glow from within feel. And of course the Basic Bitch palette. This is my go-to quick and easy everyday makeup. I use the taupey shade in it. I totally lost the little disc that says the names, so I apologize. But there's this kind of taupe gray shade. I'm using that first, just lightly through the eye socket, just to create a little bit of contour where my bone structure is. And this is actually the highlight shade in the palette. I'm using the same brush. Again, this is super easy makeup. Same brush, lightly running it over the eyelid in the big highlight shade. And then I'm going in with the deeper black shade, a very small amount, but the same brush. And on that outer corner, we're gonna create a little bit more of a frame for our eyes. And that's gonna open them up and give a more kind of shape look. Mascara, I can't forget mascara. So I'm using the Haute by MAC, but the big end. I like this mascara. I think it's fine, but I do kind of want to play with some other ones because I find it very wet for me. But I do mascara on both top and bottom, and the majority is going to be on the top to give my eyes a little bit more of a lift and a thicker lash line. Now time for lips. I actually love using regular lipsticks as stains, especially matte ones. So this is I believe it's the Proud to Be Canadian lipstick. You can't get any more, I'm sorry again. But any kind of brighter red lipstick will do, and just lightly pat this on your lip and rub your lips together. And what I'm gonna be doing is adding a lip balm. So I'm using MAC's lip conditioner. I'm just applying that on top, and I love this lip balm because it's deeply hydrating, but it's not super shiny like a gloss, and it's also not more matte like a Blistex would be. So it kind of looks like I'm wearing an actual lip gloss on my lip. But this is gonna give you a natural long-wearing stain while using the same lipsticks that you have. Besides that, that's actually the finished look. It's super easy. You can do this every day, and it works so well for any occasion.